Well, this weekend was great. We actually got to sleep, so that was a good weekend. But basketball's really changed with how one season ends. The number of people in the portal, and with us, people going pro and spots to fill, and right away it's just that's really your busiest time of year, and then you throw in some other distractions and a lot of staff changes. So it's been a long month, but at the same time, really excited how everything is turned out. Really excited for the staff we've hired. Excited for the opportunities for the people that have moved on, and grateful and thankful for what they've done for Baylor basketball, and excited for June to get here and get a chance to work with a lot of new guys.
That staff, you talked about them. I mean, you like the makeup that you got there?
Well, definitely. Anytime you have turnover, you're excited for the guys moving on, and I know I think Coach Jake has finally got some sleep this weekend as well. So, but excited for Luke and Bill, and obviously Coach Jakes, Coach Brooks, and all of them. Did such a great job here. I mean, if you look at it again, the last 5 years, winning his Power 5 program in the country, the only team to be a top 3 seed in the NCAA tournament for the last 4 tournaments, one of 4 teams to win a game in each tournament or more since 2019, and then the only school to have 3 guys drafted in the top 16. I mean, those are some really good numbers and some really good accomplishments, and that staff was a great staff to work with, and really enjoyed and personally grew in my knowledge of not only basketball, but spiritually, I hope better husband, father, because of the people I work with daily. And then now you have a lot of new guys coming in and a lot of excitement, and some really good additions in this late signing period, and excited to see what this team can become.
Coach, obviously, we know you had conversations in the off season about career and everything like that. When you're considering your decision making, how much do you consider legacy, staying at Baylor and what you've accomplished, and if you stay here, what could ultimately happen in the future?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, Waco is home. All my 3 children are born and raised here. Everyone loves it here. I know spiritually I've been able to grow over the last 20-plus seasons at Baylor, and one of the things that in life, I mean, you got to do what God wants you to do as you spiritually grow. And to me, the easy thing is always staying in Waco, because that's comfortable and that's home, and we love it here. But if God calls us to go somewhere, sometimes that's not easy, but you want to do what God wants you to do, and you want to be at the center of His will. And really, that's what it was all about. And just seeking where He wants us. And again, we are going to be obedient and go to that. And it's nice because our players each and every year are faced with tough decisions. If it's stay here, transfer, go pro, and just we have a culture of joy, Jesus, others, yourself. And if you have the right priorities in making decisions, I don't think you can go wrong if you're ever at the center of God's will and doing what He wants, and then also what's best for your family.
Coach, during that time, you also became an overnight sensation due to a restaurant called Casino. What was that entire process?
Well, I can tell you that I never thought I would go to that or lead to that, but I'm excited anytime any business in Waco is able to benefit and do well, and obviously a lot of positive attention brought to Waco, so that's a great thing.
What was your thought process kind of behind, I guess, posting that? Obviously, I bet you saw all the stuff on Twitter. Was that just to quiet the rumors? I mean, what was the thinking there?
Well, it was a lot of people thought I was in Kentucky, and I'm like, no, I'm right here. It's raining outside. I got a good lunch, so that's why I took the picture. And then I will give props to the Kentucky fan that was able to call and see where we were at, and that was quite impressive. But other than that, really, I was just having a good lunch with Eric Sharrow, and he said Alliance Bank got a lot of traction, so he was happy about that. But again, just really blessed to have so many friends and loved ones, people you care about at Baylor and in Waco. And again, the people closest to me were like, whatever God wants, that's what we want. And that was really encouraging as well.
Obviously, you're tied to the couple of jobs this offseason. Was there something that, you were wanting to explore what else was out there this offseason, or was it just, opportunities that were coming to you? Just kind of what was your mindset in being involved in those searches?
Yeah, good question. With during the season, I'm really focused and locked in with our team, and whatever people say or speak of, I really don't follow that, and that's why coaches have agents nowadays. So season ends, and then you can have a conversation. But during the season, it's 100% locked in on what we're doing and trying to accomplish. And we had an amazing group. Love coming to practice each and every day with them. Great staff, as I already mentioned. But so it was when that was done, then just basketball's changed a lot with the portal, with NIL, and Baylor's and Mac Rhodes has done a fabulous job and phenomenal job in making sure we can stay competitive and make sure that we have a chance to win the last game, because all of us want to. When you've won a national championship, when you won conference championships, I mean, personally, I don't want to let Baylor family down, and I don't want to be in a position where we can't be successful. And the great thing is President Livingstone and administration and Baylor families made sure that that's not the case, and we have every opportunity to compete for championships, and that's what we want to do at Baylor, and that's what we worked and put in a lot of time and effort to accomplish and get to. And doesn't guarantee anyone's going to win the last game, but having a chance is really important to everyone at Baylor, I know, as well as with our staff.
Speaking of the portal, how many of those guys can you talk about that have obviously committed, and then how many more do you think might add?
So the good thing is we can talk about everyone but one. The last one's paperwork's still not done yet, so process. So anyone up to that, we can, and you can ask whoever you want, and I'll fill you in my thoughts as far as the group overall. It's a talented group, but it's an experienced group, and most of all, they fit the Baylor culture. And the older I get, life is short. You want to be around people that you love and enjoy being with. And there's certain coaches and programs that can help other players more than we can. And there's certain programs that really fit us. And we want to be a part of their journey and hopefully help them reach their goals and dreams. And with this group, we feel that we have the talent to compete for a championship, and at the same time do it with a group that we're excited to work with.
Scott, what specifically does Jeremy Roach bring to it, and how important was it to get a guy like him, Final Four experience, point guard, all those kind of things?
Well, I think if you can't beat him, join him, right? So after New York, we're like, he's pretty good. We need him on our team. But no, a lot of respect for him. He's been in the Final Four, to see what he's done throughout his career at Duke, and everybody at Duke, and talking to Coach Shire and how highly they talked about him and how much they appreciated and loved working with him. Seemed like a perfect fit for us, and at the same time, nowadays, to bring in players that are experienced and been to a Final Four, so when they're in an NCAA tournament, they know what it's like to be there and know what it's like to win there. So that's really important and critical, and we all know the importance of guard play. At the same time, another signee that has Final Four experience, Norchad, is somebody that has been there, done it. He's a walking double-double. I think when he was born, he averaged 20 and 10. So, I mean, somebody that to win a Skip Prosser award is something that really speaks to his character, because everyone in the coaching profession just knows what a great man Skip Prosser was, and any award tied to him is excellence. So. Two players that have been there, done that, in different positions, different skill sets, are really exciting.
Coach, obviously you said it that, the world of basketball is changing every year, but as a coach, how exciting is that for you to be able to build a roster, every season and kind of find what works, find what doesn't?
Well, I think it's a lot more exciting today than it was about 3 weeks ago. But as I've gotten older, I've tried to help make a difference too for the next generation of coaches, and like changing our recruiting calendar and helping in some certain ways. I think has made this year a lot better than last year per se, and hopefully as we keep getting more and more adjustments to how college basketball is, it makes our jobs at least more doable to be successful, because you think about it, we start in June, and really you go the whole way through until season ends, and that's like finishing a final exam, and then instead of getting a couple weeks to rejuvenate, like that becomes your busiest time. So having the recruiting calendar be able to reflect and help do justice with all of that allows all of us to stay married when we do have the summertime. So I know that really excited how things have finished for us, but I know for most people in college athletics, the biggest reason you don't want to lose that last game is you don't want to go through what you got to go through, and that is the chaos that results in the next until May 2nd, virtually when the portal closes, until you finish your roster and who you're signing. And some people, it won't be until the end of May 29th when the deadline occurs, and then people go on visits from there. And I think everybody can relate to this. You want certainty in life. Like, you want to know, okay, when's rent due? How much is it? Like, we just want to know, okay, who's our roster, who's our team, so we can finish out scheduling and everything. So it is exciting that you have a bunch of new players to work with. It is also a little stressful trying to figure out who that's going to be during a short window.
Coach, this day in college basketball seems like either you got wings who are 6'7", 6'8", can shoot really well, or you got guys like Eve, Josh, who are 7'1", 7'2", and pound inside. Norchad's like 6'7", but seems like a more traditional big guy. What's allowed him to have that success despite being maybe a little undersized for what he does?
Well, I think his toughness, strength, size. I mean, the guy's a beast. So I think Charles Barkley was a really good rebounder at 6'4.5", and I mean, you can't measure toughness and heart, and he has a lot of that. And then he has size and athleticism. I mean, speaking more to his rebounding right now, I mean, Rico Gathers was an unbelievable rebounder, and he wasn't 6'10", he wasn't 7 feet. At the same time, offensively, he's tough for guys that are bigger to guard because of his speed and quickness and perimeter skills. And then for smaller guys, obviously, he can hurt you inside. So he's a mismatch guy for sure.
You mentioned how stressful it is in the portal time. Did it add to it that you had coaches that were taking other opportunities?
Yeah, 100%, and that's where really it's all hands on deck during that period, because you got how many people in the portal, and now you're trying to not only see who's a Baylor fit, but you got to watch the X's O's, the film, like how would they fit into our basketball system as well as our culture. So that just takes time to navigate and go through. And I know for those coaches that were here, they, from Ty, Jason, Jared, and Tweety, they didn't get much sleep during that period of time. And then now with the new staff being onboarded, I know they're anxious and excited and ready to go. But definitely we wouldn't have been successful during that period without those guys doing double duty.
You mentioned you're still kind of trying to finalize that lineup, that roster. Is there any spots that you feel like you guys still need depth on, and what are you kind of turning your attention to in the next few weeks?
Well, I think the great news is you got scholarships left over, so you have opportunities, but at the same time, there's not something that you have to have. So if something fits and works and makes us a better team, then that's something we would look at. If it's not, we don't have to have anybody else.
What did you think about, Caleb Lohner's decision to try to play football?
Well, Caleb's somebody that for his whole time at Baylor really grown spiritually, academic-wise, character-wise, is so fun to work with and be with every day. And basketball was playing his best basketball at the end of the year, so it was a tough decision for him. At the same time, he'd always been intrigued by football because every football coach has tried to get him to play football since he began his athletic career. And he's such a natural when you look at size, strength as a tight end. So it was something that we had talked about, and with 1 year to play, scouts had given him the advice it's better to play for a year and then have a chance to get drafted versus not play basketball and try to get drafted. So really whatever was best for him, we were going to support. And he was tremendous all throughout the process, keeping us updated. I mean, with Utah, he had known the head coach there for a long, long time. So really was close to him. And if he was going to play football, that was the only person he was going to play for just because the long-standing relationship.
Do you think with the new transfer portal additions, it's going to be a little bit of a different look for this Baylor offense? I mean, kind of what Eric was saying, Norchad's might be a traditionally smaller big.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you see that lineup kind of shaping out as?
Well, I think if you look the last 13 years, 12 or 13 years, we've had a top 25 offense. So we've had a lot of different players during the last 13 years. I mean, we've started 6'11", 3 men in Anthony Jones, 6'10", Quincy Miller, and we've started 3 guards. So really, I think we've always adjusted what we've done offensively to our personnel, and the same could be said for defensively. We were zone team when we had all that size and length, and then we were a no middle team and an aggressive man-to-man team when we had more speed and athleticism. And I think this summer when we work with the guys in June, July, and August, really gives you a chance to experiment and see what fits this group. I think last year, I mean, we went from a no-middle team to forcing to the screen, and offensively, we probably only used 20% of what we did the year prior. So it does make it more difficult to do it that way from the standpoint. It's kind of like if you're an algebra teacher and you have the same algebra lesson, it's easier to get ready for the year rather than going from algebra to geometry to trig. I mean, it's just a big variance, and I know that's what we've always done because our job as coaches, my dad has always instilled in me, is to fit what we do to our personnel.
You still stay pretty connected to like Eve and Jacoby and Jalen, I mean, as they get ready.
Yeah, praying for them this week. It's a big week for them, and hoping things go well. No, they're going to do great in the interviews. As far as measurements, they are what they are. And then their shooting, I think, speaks for itself, the body of work. But I know what people put on, like pro days in football and pro days in basketball. So obviously praying for them.
How special is it now to have, 2 former Baylor players on your staff?
The irony is you have now a lot bigger generations covered as far as Melvin's going to be hit up for all his tickets for older people and Tweety for all the newer people. And but the great thing is I know Melvin's been someone involved with the program. He's been around. He's had so much success in the NBA and somebody that everybody really respects and loves. And obviously his daughter was a big hit with the volleyball team, helped us get to a Final Four. mentor and works at Highland and so respected in the area. So I know he's excited to be back, especially with their first grandbaby. So his wife was excited about that as well.
Scott, you talked about Mac's emphasis on the NIL and boosting it. They made the announcement today about the in-house unit with David Kay as the general manager. Can you just talk about that and maybe kind of excited about having a group kind of boosting that, I guess?
No question, and DK is really task oriented and really gets things accomplished and done, and somebody that's really helped our program from an SID to a sport administrator, and whatever he does, he's successful in. So he'll do a great job with that, and I know all the coaches are extremely excited about that.
Coach, in terms of when you have to replace so much of your staff, what are you looking for? Is it certain guys who fit culture, certain
Yeah.
guys who fit certain roles that you had, like AB doing or
Yeah.
Jacobs doing, and how's that all coming out?
Yeah, well, this could be a 30-minute press conference thing, so we won't go into all of it, but I think the first thing is who fits our culture and who staff-wise complements one another. When you put together a team, you can't have all bigs, you can't have all guards, you got to have a nice blend combination. So really guys that complement each other, fill in areas that have been vacated or left, but at the same time, each individual is going to have their own strengths. So it's kind of like, again, we won't run the same offense every year because you're not bringing in the same personnel every year. So we'll adjust what we do staff-wise, and it's great because, like, for instance, Ty Beard has been doing video forever, and now he's director of ops, and he's really excited about that new challenge and new role, yet he's still somebody that's the ultimate joy culture guy and a good guy for staff and programs. So, like, you want some newness. You want people to be excited about maybe something different within the program, but at the same time, making sure A through Z everything's covered.
If we do another media versus sports information basketball game, will you come coach us?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think I'll be in charge of recruiting. We might need to add one or two people, and I know your NIL number's really big, so we'll get that done.
We do have a former, D3 player that's about 6'10", so in creative. So,
Oh, we don't want him playing.
yeah.
The vacations you take, like you said, the off season's been just busy. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, the vacations really get switched and moved around, and I got to find out with my wife when that is.
Seems like,
Hey, thank you, guys.